Supervision. The reason that we need to be supervised is because human nature is inherently a little bit weak. It can be lazy, it could be selfish, it could be entitled. And our spiritual nature is none of these things. Like, God supervises us, and correspondingly, perhaps as a metaphor, we supervise each other. Parents supervise their children, employees. It's mutual because, employees also supervise their employers, through HR and the labor department, or whatever, laws in society. So everybody's accountable to everybody. But supervision is important because, proper supervision, appropriate, in the spirit of a servant leadership, servant mentality, because, it just shocks me kind of how selfish or mean, some people can be. I've done a few podcasts on that recently, not recently, but one or two, and in the past as well. And, being mean is just a sign of, weakness. It's a sign of that a person feels hurt. Because if you feel very powerful, you don't need to wear it on your sleeve. You don't need to have a chip on your shoulder. You just know that you're powerful. And I believe power comes from spirit. So if you feel spirit, you don't feel like you need to lord it over someone else if you feel like your cup, as the Bible says, runneth over. So supervision is meant to make, in my mind, from a spiritual perspective, kind of line us up more with God and God's will. Like God, there's a famous saying, I think it's from Joyce Meyer, that, sometimes we want God to change our circumstance, but sometimes God uses our circumstance to change us. And, there is rightful authority. I mean, some people misuse their authority, like a police officer. Most of them are great, when they're helping people obey the law and catching criminals. And I think police officer is like one of the most noble professions possible. But there are a few bad apples in any profession, and, a couple of cops, a few that have, been caught doing bad things. So supervision has to be done, appropriately. But supervision, authority, is good. We need to learn from each other. We need to learn from, teachers teach and judges judge and police and, cashiers cashier. We all have a role to play in terms of servant leadership and also holding people accountable. I mean, everybody in their role has some power. Like, you go to the library and you go to check out a book. If you don't give them your library card, they won't check out your book. It's like everybody has power to do certain things that is within their role. And we all need to be supervised, and, it's an important thing.